Coming up, Eddie Howe gives us the lowdown on injuries, and will Alexander Isak be fit to face Chelsea? You'll find out very soon. So the big question today at Eddie Howe's press conference was, would Alexander Isak be fit for the game against Chelsea? You look at the player himself, he's been out for a month. We've seen little glimpses of him in training, not too much this week. And Eddie Howe did say that, he had to be careful with the demands that he asks to put on Alexander Isak. So it looks like he's going to be touch and go for Chelsea. We'll have to wait and see exactly what that team is tomorrow at 2 p.m. But we'll see certainly Miguel Almiron back and Fabian Schär back. Both of them have trained. They were declared fit by Eddie Howe. He couldn't give us a definitive answer on Sean Longstaff, saying that he's going to be analysed and checked before this game, having took a really nasty knock on the ankle down at Bournemouth in the last game Newcastle played 2 weeks ago. So it's going to be a real interesting decision for Eddie Howe, who starts the game in attack. Isak, could he even be fit for PSG? I did ask the manager that. I said, could anyone who misses out on Saturday be potentially involved in France? His answer to that was, I wish it was the case, because the fact of the matter is, it's going to be a tight turnaround between Chelsea and heading over to France for that game. So Newcastle know they've got problems, but players slowly starting to come back. Eddie Howe did say after Bournemouth he didn't expect a real sort of slate of players coming back for this game. If anything, the Sean Longstaff situation's made it a little bit worse. But other news was Kieran Trippier. He's trained. We've seen him in training throughout the week. He's available to play despite leaving the England camp for personal matters. But he's back here and he's ready for the game against Chelsea. The one player who definitely can't play, sadly, is Lewis Hall, because of loan rules. Him coming in from Chelsea at the start of the season, so he can't play in this game at the weekend. So that's going to be issues at who starts the game at left back. It's going to be potentially Kieran Trippier or Tino Livramento. It's pretty much a decision that might end up making itself for Eddie Howe. So tough, a tough time with injuries for Newcastle, but certainly they've been in worse situations than this. Much worse, going back 2 years into Eddie Howe's reign. At the beginning, it was very difficult for him, if you remember. So this is nothing compared to that. Newcastle, in the last Premier League game at St James's Park, comfortably beaten Arsenal despite absentees on that day as well. So there is a lot to be positive about. Newcastle go into this game after a 2-week break. They will be refreshed. They are recharged. So despite a few setbacks with injuries, they look like they're in a good mood to face Mauricio Pochettino's team at St James's Park.